This is fucking
18.
episode 18 of the Collective Minds podcast, you guys. Today we got me, Austin, Ledger, we got Aiden, and we got Jay, as always, on the mic here. You guys, holy shit. So, I want to get into the whole underground volcanic fucking shit that's going on right now, but let's just bust through this topic right here, the Cannibal Club, real quick. So there's this Cannibal Club and there's this website for it, guys, which I will post in the chat for you to be able to look up and all of that good shit. But for now, I'm going to read through you on this website, which is obviously a BS website, but it is used to like keep the information live. So from what has actually been reported. So it says Cannibal Club frequently asks questions. What does human flesh taste like? When prepared by us, unbelievable. Of the meats you are likely to find in stores, pork is the closest match. Where do you get your specialty meat? Our avenues of procurement vary. Most of the business and institutions who supply us prefer to keep those relationships discreet. On the individual level, bodies are often bequeathed to us for some. This is a way to supplement life insurance and offset funerary expenses. For others, such as the Cannibal Club member Gwenadine Fenwich, who was served to her friends and relatives at the club in January of 2008, being prepared as a meal and thereby reborn into the bodies of the living is an attractive alternative to more traditional practices of burial and cremation. We take consideration and considerable care to ensure that all of our meat is produced legally and ethically and derived only from young, healthy bodies. You guys excited about eating people yet or what? Me either. So let's skip over this and let's go to the cuisine part of the website, right? It says collaborating with visiting cooks from around the world. Chef de Cuisine Sophie Lafitte regularly updates our menu with new and daring culinary experiments. The meat we serve is selected from the young and healthy, consistent with the practice of cannibalism in many primitive societies. We view anthropophagy as homage to the dead who are reborn into the bodies of the consumers. Each dish, therefore, is a study in taste and elegance. This week's menu includes penne pasta with meat sauce, a delicious meat sauce made from fresh heirloom tomatoes served over multi-grain penne noodles. Sirloin steak, a frame-boiled 8-ounce sirloin steak served with fresh garlic, sautéed onions, and our in-house Worcestershire sauce. Liver and mushroom pierogi, a Russian version of pierogies baked rather than boiled, with a savory filling of wild mushrooms and liver. Now here we go. Placenta Lasagna, an otherwise traditional lasagna with one layer of cheese substituted by minced placenta and heirloom tomato sauce, seasoned with garlic, onion, and oregano. Miss Leve's meat pies, a delectable pot pie and a genuine puff pastry, crust with locally grown vegetables and tender strips of meat. So this is on this website. You guys can look this up. Here's one that says, isn't cannibalism wrong? Cannibalism, as traditionally practiced, usually shows respect to the deceased who has desired to be reborn into the living or offered as a worthy sacrifice to some deity. It is never a practice to debase or objectify human life. Arguments against cannibalism are typically grounded in ignorance, cultural prejudice, and nonsensical spiritual beliefs. Does cannibalism cause disease? Prion diseases of the nervous system, such as Kuru, are associated with the consumption of brain tissue, which is not part of our menu. And you can put your contact info and send them a message and all that shit on here. But I'm not saying that this website is real, but it comes from sources allegedly saying that the websites that it came from is real.
Creepy.
Yeah, we might have to be resorting to cannibalism here soon.
Yeah, here soon. Once the horses are gone, because I've decided I'm going to eat horses. Once they're gone, yeah, I'm going to start writing my book on how to eat people.
Austin, you'll eat we can feed you, man. You'll feed a whole village, man.
Yeah, y'all fuckers can try to eat me.
I don't have to. I'll just
that'll be the fun part.
I'll just throw you a Big Mac into the
Listen. You and Aiden won't have to eat me. I will bring you buckets of dicks every day. You guys will be satisfied. They're
not big enough though.
All right.
Your mouth
doesn't eat dick unless it's very large. I get it. I get it, man. All right, guys. So with that right there, so that's just the website. Little bit of whatever, give a little taste of we're going into it. So allegedly, I've seen because I was digging through the Cannibal Club and everything. It's a club used by elites, very elitist people where they eat humans, and we're gonna go more into that here in a minute. But I'm gonna send you guys this logo. Conspiracy ladies, she dug deep, and this is what she believed for this to mean. So, and I will actually end up giving her some props on this because I had to dig a little deeper to find it, because just going off the basis of this it didn't mean shit to me, to tell you the truth. So when I first listened to her, I was like, yeah, you're fucking crazy. But here we go. So it goes with Coco Chanel, the Chanel brand. So if you know the logo, it's 2 C's backwards, almost like DC, like the shoes DC's. There it is. All right. Okay. Everyone check this out. Open this up. So that's the Chanel brand, purses, wallets.
I do not
whatever,
see
perfume.
anything in the chat.
So it's CC. I sent it. It's in the chat. If you can't, just look it up yourself.
Oh, yeah. I know what the Chanel brand looks like.
Yeah, Chanel. So with that, it's supposed to mean Cannibal Club, and like the people that wear it as like regular ass humans or people are like laughed at because it goes back to whatever, which interests me because the whole lipstick thing. And like you look up Coco Chanel back in the day, and she always wore this red lipstick, and it's like, is that represent something? I don't know. That's pretty wild and out there. But so I found this guy actually. So there's an auction online, and there's actually a guy, which it's called Sotheby's. It's an auction center guillotine. So there it is. So there's this guy, and his name is Tom Soch. All right. So look at this. So this is something that's sold by it, and she pulled this up too, that this was being sold underneath the Chanel brand. So there's a Chanel guillotine. And if you notice, the guillotine is very small in actual how size it is, like for a child. So I went to Tom Soch's page, dude, and he's got a fuck ton of shit. All Chanel brand. He's got like a chainsaw, all this murder shit. So yeah.
Chainsaw.
Like, okay, so he's got a giant mousetrap, he's got a chainsaw, he's got the guillotine, he's got all sorts of shit. And it's described as Chanel brand, which could be like whatever, artists do weird shit, but in the end too, it's like, this is really weird if Chanel means that the Chanel brand means literally the club. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's really weird.
The fucking eating people club. Yeah. You see it?
Ooh. Yummy. Oh, is that the weird things that cut people's heads off?
Yeah, that's the guillotine. But check this out. So,
yo,
let me see.
That is weird. How much for the chainsaw though?
I don't know. Here, go to his website. Well, that fucking guillotine sold for like a couple $1 million.
Whack.
Yeah, whack as fuck, right? As I'm saying, like, there's something about this that like is weird as shit. There's something about this. So, this website doesn't show a whole lot anymore. Oh wait, yeah, it does. It just takes a while to load. So here's a website I'll send you of Tom Soch, the guy that fucking did those, which is weird because being Cannibal Club, it's like this guy knows something. Why is it all about this? Why is Chanel, like, why is she pointing these things out? It could just be a correlation of bullshit events that don't mean anything. However, we're gonna go deep into this. So Mark Zuckerberg, his wife, Priscilla, aka Raven, and her 2 sisters allegedly co-own the Cannibal Club that resides in California. Which I thought about this club, and I was like, I don't think it would be like an actual restaurant. I think it would be like a catering service. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get away with like opening up a restaurant and serving humans, even like whatever. Like they'd be getting fucked with all the time with codes and people, sitting outside their building with signs and shit. But a catering service. So I think that that's what this actually is a catering service, and it makes sense here down the road. So I'm going to read this. So Katy Perry, Meryl Streep, and Chelsea Clinton have dined there allegedly, as well as Anderson Cooper, and like there's fuck tons of elites. So allegedly, like a lot of elites. The only person that got really nailed down though was Katy Perry. So we're gonna go into her context of what she said about this. So she actually has said this in multiple places. One, the major one was on a French radio network where she like literally went off about it. But this one was in the US where she said that it is way more popular than you think. And then she said, so many people in Hollywood tell you that human meat is the best, the absolute best meat in the world. So these are quotes. I'm going to read you a fuck ton of quotes here for a second. Okay. She says, cannibalism has gotten a bad rep due to squeamish Christians and their hypocritical virtues and morals. But consuming the flesh of humans is actually super healthy and good for you. And then she says there are life-enhancing vitamins and minerals in human flesh that you can't get from animal meat. When asked which vitamins and minerals in human meat, but not animal, she said, I'm telling you, these people live way longer than the average, and their health is way better too. Believe me. She also said there is a group of old Hollywood guys who would have an annual dinner party where the main dish is human. Every guest is allowed to bring a +1. A few years ago, when I was new in town, I got invited by a good friend. She said, each year, a new host is selected for the following year by drawing straws. It is the new host's responsibility to provide the main course, and it has to be human. If you can't find a suitable person to serve as the meal, well, the joke, I think it's a joke at least, is that the host will be eaten instead.
How did I get in trouble for killing these people?
Well, because they got fucking money.
No.
Because they can pick them up out of fucking nowhere. Because it can be traced. You could fucking have a body all you want as long as it can't be traced to where it came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Adding a body to a fucking like a city is not a thing. Taking a body from a city is a thing. And here's the thing, the horrible thing about missing people is that if there's no evidence of a crime, it's not criminal. A missing person isn't a criminal situation. So as long as the person is just missing, and it could be literally like, I just disappear right now. You can't prove it's criminal. There's nothing to say it's criminal. So they would just say, I'm a missing person. Therefore, there's no like those APBs or whatever the fuck they are. They don't send it out across the country going, and they have no straws to grab at to find any evidence. So, but she also says, I was a bit squeamish about the idea of going to this dinner party, but when I heard who else was going, I jumped at the chance. I was like, people die all the time and their bodies just go to waste. If we can use their organs for medical purposes, why shouldn't we eat their meat?
Can't eating human brain make you go like psychopath?
Yep. There's actually a shoe company named after it. And I just said it earlier. It's like Kuru or something like that. When asked what happened at the dinner party, Perry explained it was a huge, lavish feast. Oh my God. The featured dish was what they called foie humaine, a pun on foie gras. But instead of force-feeding a duck and then eating its liver, this was the liver of a human who had force-fed themselves on junk food.
You'd be perfect.
This bitch is sick. Watch, it keeps going. A fatty liver fit for the kings of Hollywood, she said. Describing herself as not terribly fond of organ meats, which most people aren't, and is what's very interesting about this. Katy Perry passed on the liver dish, but did enjoy sampling human flesh during the multiple course Bacchanalian feast. It tastes like pork, she said, but a little bit bitter and stronger. Bon appetit is her fucking song that she came out with, where they're like, she's wrapped up in cellophane in a bed, and they come in and they like season her and throw her in flour and like cut her up and shit. It's fucking crazy. And then during that video too, it like distinguishedly points the camera at her ankle, which has a pentagram on it. So just want to point that shit about Katy Perry to everybody.
Yeah. I wonder if like so how you said if they don't throw a good party or whatever, they get eaten. I wonder if that could tie into the cloning thing, and they could maybe like they threw a bad party and they cloned him, and yeah,
something like that. I don't know. I think if we look around,
they could have hit him with a suicide dart.
I'm starting to get this big feeling of what's going on is like, you know how allegedly they made deals with aliens back in the 30s or whatever, and they take like 5,000 people a month out of the millions we have, you know, and that's like missing 411 and shit like that, or other sources around that, and it's always around like where Sasquatch territory is and all that bullshit. But I think something is going on. You know, I've been thinking lately, I've been breaking it down, and I've been realizing like the people that are famous actors and actresses and shit like that are like you look at Justin Bieber, that motherfucker's a clone. He's been cloned and trained since day one to do certain things. Half of it's fake, good to go. You know what I mean? Like these people don't just get born and have all these fucking talents with shit. What's going on is that I think we're living in a movie, like
simulation.
No, we already live in a simulation, but I think what we're doing is a controlled, advanced version of this. So I think what we believe right now, like what we've been born to believe from beginning to now, is like, look around, like this isn't really happening. Like you watch the news and what they're saying, like the government's dealing with this. This is what's really happening today. None of that shit's actually happening. Some of it is. But on a point level of like, there's something way bigger, way more controlling, way more powerful than that. That's what's going on. You know what I mean? Like we're not these simple things making fucking votes for fucking leaders. And you know what I mean? Like, look at what's around you. Like this shit is not really happening. We're playing in that fucking movie with what's his name, where all the cameras are on them and they're walking around. We're in that shit. Like this is. You know, what was that movie?
Truman Show?
The Truman Show?
Yeah, The Truman Show. That's exactly what we are, except we're not all being watched as close as that. I mean, we are, but we're not being, we might be being recorded, but we're not being watched as much as that. But I think that we are dead ass living in a fake ass fucking, this is all being controlled. I think something else is going on. And then with the whole, the whole situation, there was a Reddit person that talked about coming from the future. No. This one was actually talking about how he had been abducted since childhood or whatever. And he was talking about how that a new version of aliens are coming down and shit and controlling shit. And that's what's going on. But what is happening right now with like COVID and all this bullshit and all the rules and how they're starting to pull back and all this shit, really, to me, it really feels like the early days when they were making agreements and shit with allegedly the Greys, that they could adopt the act of being able to take people and study them certain amounts of years and for, you know, a year or whatever. And we would get technology for it. That's what this shit feels like. To me, it feels like that something made a promise to our high elite fucking government officials or the elites themselves, and they've been pushing that so hard with the media, and it's like, go ahead and do this and do this and do this and do this and do this. And then all of a sudden they're starting to rip it off like a fucking Band-Aid. They're like, no, allegedly you're going to get fucked up from this, allegedly that. Like, they're taking it all back. Why would they do that? If this was a China takeover, why would they do that? It sounds like they were promised heaven and ended up finding out they were getting fucked on the end of it. And they're like, no, fuck this. We're going back. Like, there's a reason that whatever made that promise hasn't been able to come in and fucking make moves and try to take over or whatever the fuck. Take control is what it is. And it seems like that's what it feels like to me, guys. I don't know. I'm crazy about it, but I don't know. This doesn't sound like a country takeover. the whole thing. Like depopulation. Like let's kill people, right? Well, you can kill people, and there's either you're killing people to fucking remove people to turn them all into slaves because you need a lot less people to turn into slaves, or else they're fucking, there's too many of them, they'll just take you over. Or you're killing people to make room for something else to move in right next door. But I'll leave it at that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys talk about it. I'll give you a minute.
I'm really my camera's inverted for some reason, but I would not doubt that they're taking people and doing all that stuff.
So what?
I mean,
so about this cloning stuff, what if they just never took people, they just cloned people and ate them about this cannibal stuff? That's why they
That's
never get
possible.
Yeah,
That is possible.
Well, along those lines, those DNA tests for like ancestry. What if they're taking that and then growing clones out of them?
Ooh,
never thought of that way.
yeah, I could see that. Or they could have little elves, like Santa, coming around pulling your hairs up.
That's funny. Now, the other thing I'm thinking this way: is God actually real, or the devil? Is it actually real, or just big old simulation?
That's a great question. Austin, you wanna?
Yeah, the question was, is God and everything real, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for fucking sure.
Are you sure though? Are we just in a simulation?
No, well, we are technically in a simulation. That's what life is. Like there's other times when me and Jay have tried breaking this down, which is, this is a simulation, but there's no such thing as real. Like you got to think about that. What's real? What's not real? Yeah, I mean, like your perception, your ideology,
are we real?
What you've been talking about is real is not technically real. It could
It's
all
real
of it.
to you.
Well, it's real to us, isn't it? When you think about it, like it's all, but like that's what you've been taught, right? Think about before you were taught, before, like try to put your brain at where you were a very small child and couldn't even fathom those ideologies.
When I was a little shit.
What's real, like the consciousness, being able to see, feel, think, all that shit is what would technically be real, right? So what's darkness though? Is darkness real? Is that a form of consciousness? Is that anything that you know what I mean? It's an existence, right? I mean, according to you and everyone else.
I mean, has anybody really seen true darkness? I mean, what if our darkness?
Is there anything?
Right, what type of darkness are you talking about?
Anything like any of it. Does any of it exist? Listen, if there is technically no nothing, because how could there be nothing without everything? There could not ever be nothing.
Yeah, like if
everything
is rich, then no one's rich. If you think about it like that.
Yeah. I mean, like that's different. That's I mean, rich and like what you feel is cool and what you guys think and like live for, like how do you act and shit. That's all made up bullshit that you're programmed to do. That's a program. That's literally a programming. You know what I mean? Because none of that shit fucking matters. None of it. It never has. It never fucking will. Yeah, you could end up like super rich one day with all this material shit and whatever. But your lifetime, your lifetime is literally nothing when you're talking about these big questions and answers. It's literally nothing.
You're drinking the milkshakes and Like
Yeah,
that one.
Kool-Aid.
it's
no,
the
like that one
little
guy.
it's the little shit that matters, but all we're technically here for, in my opinion, is to better ourselves, or and to better other people, to help and to make the world a better place in a way. So like I always like to imagine that we're all part of one consciousness, which is called God, right? This one consciousness where it's like it's rotating itself in a circle and having these little tests and trials where it gets rid of the negative part of itself and the better, and like keeps the better. So like if you, and that's what's like heaven and hell could be. So like hell could just be literally just disappear. Your form of consciousness just disappears, and it's all based on fucking, being able to control yourself and shit, and doing good things and helping.
We were watching
Go ahead,
this
Jay.
documentary last night, and that was me. But we were watching this documentary last night, and it was about people that like died for a small amount of time, and they remember what they've seen. And like I guess some people remembered going through like this tunnel. Some of them like went to this beautiful meadow. Some of them seen like their dead family members, they were saying, which I feel like heaven is your consciousness percepting on like what you would think heaven would be like.
Like it could be your own heaven.
Yeah.
All right. It's crazy, man. I mean, it's a big thing. I don't really want to dig into too far. But like your own heaven is still based upon what you have like mentally been built up to do. You know what I mean? So like your personality is based on certain shit.
Yeah.
So how you've been raised to look at things, angles and shit, it's a way of for you mentally to like decide on how you're going to feel about shit is what it is. But I mean, down to the raw thoughts. That's why I say like when you're a child, when you were very small, like look at how you thought about shit then. And that's the rawest point you're going to find about that. That's a rawest footage, rawest everything you're going to find about that shit. And I mean, that's where you got to look at where like your actual beliefs on shit. Look for your true feelings, not shit that's put in front of your face and everything. Don't find that shit out. I mean, it's everyone's journey to go ahead and do that. It really is. It's written in the Bible. And yeah, God is real. God is real. And then like, we can get in a million fucking angles on that, but yeah. Well, with the Cannibal Club, honestly, guys, I just want to say I don't think this is a cannibal club. I think humans are introduced into it, and that's why it's called that. I think it's also called that to manipulate the fact of what's really going on with it, but I do not believe.
What do you believe that's really going on?
So I listened to this YouTube video like 3 years ago, and it was like, I'm a server at a monster club is what it was called, or something like that. And it was like a Mr. Creeps video where he talked about serving human fucking flesh to these monsters. And that's what this reminds me of every fucking time. And even though they might not look like what they see or whatever at the time, you know what I mean? Technology or whatever the fuck, or allegedly there's something trying to take your body over everywhere you go, and we typically call them demons. Oh, you can't hear me?
No, he was eating in the mic.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so allegedly there's shit all around us all the time trying to take bodies. So I'm not saying that it's fucking monsters. I'm not saying it's aliens, and I'm not saying it's demons. But I think that whatever the fuck out there is eating fucking people is not necessarily humans, or at least not humans anymore. And witchcraft, which is why I like Jay brought this topic up to me when we first started, like a week ago. When I first started thinking about it and diving into it, is that I want to point this out. Last time we did witches, we're talking about witches. Most of those witches for thousands of years have always been considered cannibals. And that's where the word blood magic really actually comes from. And it all starts connecting when you look at the dots. And let's see if I have these pictures here.
So what is blood magic?
It's, well, it could be like them, well, sacrifices, or them sacrificing, like hurting themselves or committing crimes, doing negativity. So witchcraft, you missed this one. So witch is the actual word witch originates from not actually describing a person as a witch. It describes what they're doing to people, which means to like manipulate, molest, manufacture, like control, like turn a person onto a wrong road, whether it be satanic, demonic, like with your hands, with your words, with like anything. It's to cause negative shit to happen with like, yeah.
So pretty much, so what I'm getting out of it is, so how you were saying that we were here to basically make the world a better place or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that would be like the opposite, like blood magic and the witch and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. So what
in theory, that means that's kind of like a demon or whatever, like what people perceive as a demon is.
Yeah. So witches were actually originally, and like still today, what you would call a witch is not what you think it is, like out of the movies. It's actually it's a person that like sold their soul to the devil for a demon, or to a demon, for them to be. It's literally hand in hand with the jinn from the Middle East. It's the same exact fucking thing. It's to literally sell your soul to some sort of being that will do shit for you to cause problems on other people. Like the witches, on the most of the time, it's not that they have abilities, it's that they have something else that has abilities that can do it, and then, or they end up getting possessed. That's what a witch is, and people don't get that. You know what I mean? It's literally like the bitch doesn't have any fucking sort of magic or abilities. It's they sell their soul and do blood magic and other shit to have these things do it for them. And maybe when they run out of soul, they get to take their fucking body or whatever.
Or take their child's body when they.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what was that one chick's name? She's talking about the pizza and stuff, and the one like ate her kid.
Oh fuck, I can't remember. I hate her though.
Ooh.
I know what you're talking about.
So you're saying a woman just like ate her kid?
It's a famous. Oh, all the time.
Oh, she definitely fucking ate that fucking kid.
Oh,
Head first?
Oh, was it Lindsay Lohan?
No, it's fucking what's her name? She's married to that black singer guy. I can't remember. I could find it real quick if I really need to. If you really want it,
but no, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the whole witch show, they might have to like sacrifice something.
That's what that was. It was a sacrificial,
Yeah.
And she totally ate that baby.
Oh yeah. Well, unless she wanted to get high on adrenochrome, which I don't know.
Yeah, during the fucking pandemic is when it happened. Yeah.
Wasn't there a shortage of it during the pandemic?
Of course, yeah. We went through that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So I'm trying to trying to send you guys these. It's not the same maps I sent Jay. Jay and I already did this, but I'm gonna send you guys these. So look in your shit on the chat.
Is it a link?
Yeah, there's well, no, it's pictures, 3 pictures.
I don't get pictures.
You don't. So there's 3 maps. There's the first one's the Underground Railroad. That one does not work. Second one's the mineral map showing across the US. And then the third one's a map of sex trafficking, which the 3 of these, what it shows. Okay, so we went over this in like the first or second episode of this entire podcast, which is that there is, all right, there's an underground sex trafficking ring that goes through the tunnels of the US using mineral mines, or what used to be mineral mines. They're highways underneath the ground is what they are. So when COVID first came out, you started, I saw these. I don't know if you guys did something to say, but people started seeing these things by the hundreds of thousands of these little bodies, like kids' bodies, on stretchers in the hospital. And they weren't dead, but instead of just having the water going to them, the regular IV, they were having feed bags put into them too. And people were like, these are feed bags. This has nothing to do with COVID. COVID doesn't make you puke and shit. What the fuck is going on? And that's right before that was when Donald Trump busted all these people, caught Epstein, and shut down a bunch of these fucking links to child sex trafficking, allegedly to what we know as child sex trafficking. But however, digging into the Cannibal Club made me realize and find out that these kids and these people being trafficked are probably not just being trafficked for sex. They're also probably being tracked for organs like they are in other countries, but they are also being tracked and hunted for meat.
Yeah.
So they are utilizing the bodies as much as they can for sex, for adrenochrome, for meat, and for organ transplants.
Yes,
they're literally using you as a fucking bait, which if we go back to fucking 80 years ago or whatever, 90, 100 years ago, it was about 75 years ago when allegedly the US made an agreement with aliens that they could abduct 5,000 people a year, which is our missing 411 counterpoint, to be able to study and test. And that's why they do cows and all other shit. It's because they can't just do people. But what is actually happening underneath the ground is that they are feeding on us, selling our organs, drinking our blood after torturing us for adrenochrome, which is allegedly what they live off of when it comes to alien beings, is what's going on. And
so it's just like normal people just like kind of have different abilities or something.
No, so no. This is alien warfare. So there's a guy that was a geologist that was hired by the US to help dig they're called, what is it called, DUMBs or whatever, deep underground military bases. Yeah, DUMBs, deep underground military bases. And the technology we had back then would literally, they're drilling through the ground, and instead of having to put concrete and shit around the tunnel or whatever to keep it like whole, it actually like turned it into this weird fibratic dust that was so hot that it stuck around it. So they didn't have to, it melted to it around it as they would go. And they were drilling with lasers. Well, this guy ended up going down and they were digging straight down with just like a regular drill or some shit, like a big fucking whatever. And they ended up hitting this gas break, and it was like, gross. And he knew about aliens, but they hadn't told the soldiers. So they went down there and they came into this cavern of tall grays, and the military people started shooting them. And this guy like fucking was shooting at them with his pistol, and he's just a geologist, but he still has a weapon because he's, government. And the alien goes like this and waves his hand and melts his, like, blasts him with this white light that melts his fucking fingers. You can see it in
Phil
the
Schneider.
videos. Melts his fingers, melts his whole fucking arm, melts his chest, melts his stomach. Like, he's fucked. And he goes around telling people about this back in like the, I can't remember if it's the early 90s. I think it's the early 90s. Going at the end of it, he ends up saying, like, I've been attacked like 50 times this month. I've been stabbed. I've been ran off the road. I've been shot at. I've been everything. They're trying to kill me. My friend that was doing this with me last month just got suicided. They called his death a suicide. I'm not suicidal. I'm fucking trying to tell as many people as I can. And within like 5 days of that, he allegedly committed suicide.
Yeah, wasn't his name Philip Schneider?
Yeah, Phil Snyder. Yeah. He's fucking crazy. And he says, ever since then, we've had an underground war between these motherfuckers. That's what he was saying. And it was like 8 years or some shit like that. He's like, we've been in war with them since then. And allegedly, just so everyone knows for this, allegedly they can't come on the surface without equipment because they can't breathe their fucking air because they breathe methane gas.
Yeah, they don't breathe what we breathe out, which is
CO2.
Carbon. Yeah, carbon.
CO2,
carbon dioxide.
That's what we said.
They breathe in like gas. They breathe in like fart gas, or I don't think it's fart gas. I think it's what's burned.
Side.
Like
Take
the shit.
Big old wet fart on them.
They breathe in cow farts, and that's probably why they're attacking the cows, is they can get a bunch of fucking
probably
so they can fill up their dunk tanks so they can go swimming in the fucking ocean. That's exactly what's going on. That's why there's no blood. They're like, we're gonna make this cow fart so fucking big.
Oh, this one. Oh, that one's beefy.
Maybe they're maybe they're making their own adrenochrome out of the baby cows.
Or they just
listen, if the fucking shit about them breathing weird gas is true, it would make sense that what they're doing to cows is happening, because cows have 4 stomachs and they make all sorts of fucking gases. That makes sense. I just realized that just now, guys. That is what makes sense about the whole fucking cow alien thing.
They have 2 stomachs.
It's 4 of them, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's fucking 4.
I think it's 2.
Oh, I'm looking it up right now.
Look it up.
Oh man.
It's either 4 stomachs or 4 hearts. I don't know.
Hey. No, there's no fucking.
How many stomachs do cows have?
It's 4 of them. 3 or 4.
No, 2. They don't have 4 hearts, Austin.
Oh no! All right,
they have 1.
Right. They do have. They have 4.
But they don't have 4 hearts.
Stomachs.
I don't.
Yeah, you fuck. I told you I was fucking.
How many
right.
hearts does a cow have?
No, Austin. Shut up,
you work with cows. You don't even know how many stomachs they have. You piece of shit.
Yeah, cows
I don't
have 1
work
heart.
with them, man.
I'm just kidding.
All right, Austin, shut up, you little sneaky man. You said that.
But for real, think about 4 stomachs. What kind of fucking microbial? I mean, they have incredible bacteria of large amounts that could totally be tested in many different ways. But the gases that they are able to produce, if you're able, I mean, you could just take all you need.
Just a whole bunch of gas.
All you need is a big 4-tunnel fucking gas chamber with the different bacteria eating the different things in one thing, and then you could feed a whole fucking society of it if you breathe on that shit. You know what I mean? Like, is that what they literally do? Is fucking they need that shit to breathe, and that's why these cows are coming up with fucking missing organs and shit. Where I wonder if they're testing the bacteria. Maybe they're sucking them out of bacteria. That's a test that hasn't been done.
The grays killing them. They fill them up with that gas, or whatever, in the chambers, and the grays come kill them.
Holy shit, Jay! Are you still there though?
So here.
All right, dude. What has? All right, so they test them for blood, they test them for organs, they test for damage, all that shit. Have they ever tested for the bacteria in their body?
I don't think so.
What if that's what's being taken?
Possible.
That's fucking crazy, man. I bet that's what's being taken. I think we just figured out.
If you think about it, whoever goes and investigates those stuff, it's like regular people. They're not really.
Well, lots of scientists have, but they go in the biological fucking form of them, not the microbial form of them. You know what I mean?
But they won't look at that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll look at the obvious and try to figure out why, but
Yeah.
don't look at that.
Don't cows make a certain bacteria that doesn't grow anywhere in the world?
Milk.
I'm pretty sure cows make
everything makes milk.
I'm pretty sure a cow makes a certain bacteria and like high concentrates that does not grow like that anywhere.
Yeah, dude, I think. World. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched like an episode of Dirty Jobs and they said something about that.
I'm like 100% on this, almost like 97% sure. I'm pretty sure there's a fucking bacteria that cows grow inside of one of their stomachs that is not grown in mass anywhere on the entire fucking planet. How gnarly is that? If that's what the fuck is going on.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what? Wait.
So they have 4 stomachs. Each one has a breakdown process, each with different bacteria in it. And I'm pretty sure one of them is very, very singular to fucking cows or cattle. And they are like the only ones that create that kind of fucking bacteria.
Yeah, they produce methane too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. That was the joke, was that they have a methane making system like a motherfucker, and that's allegedly what they fucking breathe in. But I was saying that they might have a certain microbial fucking whatever in their system that isn't developed naturally anywhere on the world and that much of like dosages. And that might be being used. The only, because you got to look, it's like, oh, what are they taking the cows for? It's like, what's different between the cow and everything else? Let's look at that.
So I just searched Skynet, and I was able to come across this article from The Guardian. It said there's a bacteria found in one of the cow stomachs that can break down plastic.
Plastic tastes funny.
As in silicone.
I don't know. It just says plastic. I guess it's generalized.
Well, they always say that the small grays always have like a silicone like skin on them. Know what I mean? Like they always say they look a little weird. I wonder what that chemical is that burns off of plastic when you light it on fire. Because lighting it on fire, anything you light on fire, it burns a bunch of the good shit in it, right? Or burns a bunch of the shit.
I don't know, man, but it's like really sinks.
Are we fucking about to prove that aliens are totally fucking raping cows out here in the middle of fucking nowhere right now? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
There's something fucking weird going on, dude.
I wish I were doing it to make us. They're doing
this
it
is getting because like why would it?
Dude, they're
gonna have a shortage.
Something's fucking going on, guys.
You can fist their booty hole.
So the fucking shit inside of a cow breaks down certain kinds of plastics in a way maybe that could be ate. Inhaled. Oh, it's got to be food. This is fucking food. Was anybody? Oh, fuck. Maybe they're stuck here. Maybe they got stuck here and had to fucking live underground.
Maybe.
Until they put their little worms inside Ledger's head.
No, what do you mean, bro? It's not Thanksgiving yet. What do you mean?
I don't know. You guys go for it. Let me know.
Yeah, but so with the whole, like, how they were talking about how we were talking about not the last episode, but the one before, I think, and how they're probably gonna they say there's gonna be a cold winter or a bad winter for cows. I wonder if it could like go back to the graze and like a bunch of cows go disappear and they yeah, that could be helping. They could be, I don't know, helping us get into the summer camps and having to retreat to cannibalism.
Maybe.
I don't know, just a thought.
Going back to those maps about those
Mhm.
the thing. I don't think Austin brought it up, but when we were talking about it, Bill Gates, he was he's buying up like farmland all over the US. Did he bring that up? I don't remember.
No, what I have heard about that, and yeah, I have heard about him doing that.
So I didn't see the map that he shared. But he
Me neither.
found a map where it showed the places where Bill Gates was buying farmland, and it actually coincided with the Underground Railroad. And well, going back to the cloning stuff and cannibalism, this all ties in together. So you know the fad about going, you know, alternate meat, you know, the Impossible Whopper,
Impossible meat.
Impossible
Yeah.
meat, Impossible, like it's vegetable
Mhm.
based alternate
Soy
meat.
based. Yeah.
And I didn't bring this up when I was talking to Austin, but it got me thinking. There's a big push to get people to stop eating meat. Why is that? Well, if you're eating people, you want them to eat the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like don't beef taste better if they're grass-fed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
do you guys make that connection?
I just clicked. Yeah. That clicked.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're putting
Yeah.
so much chemicals in those that alternate food to where like, is it really healthy for us? Like I get it, it's not meat, but it's made to resemble, taste, and feel like meat when you eat it, and even when you cook
Mhm.
it. But everything about it is plant-based, and I'm pretty sure it's okay for us to consume, but does it have like extra vitamins and minerals? It's like, what would you do to make a cow taste better? Instead of giving them grain, make them
Giving him.
eat natural stuff, right? Um, in Japan, when they do what is those cows like? They take young cows, they like make them drink alcohol, like give them massages and stuff, and then that's what you get when you eat not wagyu. What is that really good meat?
Oh,
Like the
Wagyu.
it's not wagyu.
yeah,
Is it wagyu?
isn't it Ragu?
It's Wagyu. It's like 50% fat and meat and some stuff like that.
I thought wagyu was like the alternate. Like if you
Well,
cannot
no,
afford it, and then it'll be wagyu.
no, Wagyu is like that really expensive meat where
Yeah,
they like
Wagyu is
kill.
like hundreds of dollars for fucking slab of meat.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
those cows, they've been pampered, they've been fed all the right things. So
well,
when they slaughter them,
some of Wagyu is like baby cows, so that's why it's so perfect. because they had never had stress or anything in their lives.
Yeah.
So
And imagine subtly doing that to the human population. Like, have you guys noticed like so much people are against the cannibal diet or what is it called? The Joe Rogan that went on. Like all he ate was meat. No grains, no sugar. It was just basically good vegetables and meat. Carnivore diet, right?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
what it is. Carnivore.
Like,
I saw some shit about Joe Rogan today.
is he an
Okay.
alien?
They suicide?
Well, not that. Is that the reason why Joe Rogan allegedly moved to Austin, Texas is, and it has to do with like Nathan's group.
Who?
Nathan's group. The Masons.
I said Nathan.
No, Mason. So the Freemasons.
Freemasons.
Oh.
Yeah,
But
my grandpa was part of that.
There's like an ancient, weird fucking god or something around that group in that area. And there's like a fucking.
In California?
No, Texas. Austin, Texas. Texas.
Hey, Jay.
Something about
Sure.
that down there. Like a funeral burial ground of some sort of fucking Masonic, witchy kind of motherfucker down there. And they were saying that that's why Joe Rogan moved down there. It's not because of the hype.
So,
But you're
you
right
move-
about the fucking people getting fat and shit and the shit and the diets and all that stuff.
Oh wait, were you around?
Oh, I've been here the whole time. Yeah.
Cool.
I've been here the whole time. I've just been listening.
Question.
The longest he's ever kept his mouth shut.
Shut up.
So, how many white claws are you deep now, huh?
How many white claws are you deep now?
How big is your booty hole?
How big is your pee-pee? Why don't you ask a real question, motherfucker?
I don't got one. All right,
You don't got one after all this? You still ain't got no real fucking questions?
we're basically talking about me and then aliens. You know, I don't got no questions about it. It's making sense.
All right. Well, then just shut up and listen. Let somebody else
Yeah.
ask a question.
You know what? Suck my penis.
No, you know what? Shut up and listen. Maybe
guess
you'll
what?
get
You have
a
good
question.
Dick sucking lips.
Listen,
All right,
motherfucker, you're on the pod. You're gonna shut
okay.
You're gonna shut
fine.
up.
I love you. I love you too.
Get a real question. Aiden.
Just edit this out.
Beautiful
Austin. Just edit it out.
Oh, wow, I love you too.
I love you too, man. All right, Jay, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
I got nothing.
I know. I was waiting for it, bro. All right. Yeah. So technically, in a way, they're definitely like beefing us up, but in a way that we don't know that they're beefing us up. They're beefing us up with chemicals. They're beefing us up with like mitochondrial changes to our DNA, beefing us up with bacterial ways. They're beefing us up with infections, disease, certain ways. They're making our meat in a way that they decided that makes us taste good for them. Is exactly what's going on.
All right.
And
So
Jay
I
just totally broke
so-
it down really good for us.
So I have a thought on that. What if the pandemic babies or whatever? I wonder if that could be part of it. Them trying to beef us up and make us. I don't know, like how they're. I wonder if they're like aging quicker too, not just their mind or whatever. But I wonder if they could be aging quicker.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm seeing that. We'll see it here in the future more, but for what I've seen, like and how it's portrayed, it looks like old people or regular ass mentally like adults inside of children's bodies is exactly what it looks like to me. So I don't know. I can't tell you. I can tell you that if they grow up anywhere sort of acting and growing and becoming more so and shit like that, we should start shooting them before they fucking murder us. I'd say that because we're getting into like Greek god shit right there, which is full demonic. enthrology on that
Oh
shit.
yeah,
So
the sun god.
yeah, some crazy fucking shit that going on there with that. But I don't know. It's just how it's portrayed, videos and shit that's, made and stuff. And I know they're doing weird shit, but I can't say for sure. I mean, they're still babies, but yeah. If they start doing like triple backflips and they're only a year old, yeah, we should probably shoot them. I'm not gonna lie. That's a joke, everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it gets to a point where you're like, yeah, that's not fucking right. Something really weird's going on there, because they're not actually developing that way. I don't think. The way when I look in those babies' faces, it's like, well, I mean, what would happen if you, like, right now, your consciousness got put in a baby body,
Yeah.
and you were able to think and be like who you are right now, but you could barely move your muscles, but you'd be doing it right, and you'd be like, yeah, I don't know. It looks a lot like Supernatural to me. Honestly, how it's portrayed. I'm just thinking like Sam and Dean. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, this something fucking weird's going on, because a full-fledged
Where's the
demon could
Apollo?
go in a baby's body, but it can still only do baby kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Might be able to
'cause
spin
their
its head around
muscles-
its neck, but
Yeah. Because, well, I mean, in theory, so like a baby like can't walk around, and it's not because their consciousness.
it's because it doesn't have the physical
their body.
ability. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what's scary about it. So what do they look
Mhm.
like when they're 5 years old? You know what I'm saying?
Full grown man with a
Yeah.
beard.
Yeah. So have you guys ever heard of that story of that boy that lived in like the small village, and he like remembered his past life, kind of,
Not
and,
sure.
and that he got killed by a guy like
I know many
kinda near their
stories
village.
like this, though.
Yeah, like with an axe or whatever. And he told that to like his parents or whatever, and then they went and like they found the grave, and like the guy got arrested
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's
Yeah.
one major one. The biggest one is about a girl that gets hit on the head going down the stairs or whatever, and then the doctor shows up, says she's dead, goes and tells her mom, and then goes back upstairs, and the girl's alive, and she fucking has this whole other life of being like an Egyptian queen or something, and lives her whole life like that, and ends up pointing out like a specific special ritual garden and all this sorts of shit that nobody would have known. We wouldn't have known today unless she wouldn't have pointed it out and told us to dig there, and like, this is what's going on. So I mean, that shit is definitely real, unless someone can tell me that like that bitch is full of shit, which they can't. So but we should switch over to what the fuck is going on today, boys. And I want to hear Jay's shit on this, but the whole Tonga tsunami fucking underwater volcano bullshit that's going on. What the hell is going on with that? What is that?
Yeah, and like the coast of Oregon.
No, it's not on the coast of Oregon. It's on the coast of, it's wherever the fuck. It's where the fuck it is. But yeah, they're saying like Oregon, Washington, and California coast, like, get to fucking higher ground because there's a tsunami coming, motherfuckers. But the weird thing is that people are saying that this is an attack on DUMBs, which is deep underground military bases, like that guy we were talking about earlier. Is that this is an attack on underwater DUMBs. So like an underwater volcano goes off, it blows up, it starts destroying shit. Definitely destroy shit underwater. Underground military bases, which totally are front hold and like impenetrable but natural. If you can control the naturalness of fucking like the world, like if you can control volcanoes, tsunamis, hurricanes, volcanoes, tornadoes, like if you can control that shit, you own the world. and they've been talking about how they change the weather all the time. So this
Oh
is
yeah,
the
I
one,
heard.
this is the one thing that actually sounds like an attack that is controlled. Fuck.
Whoa.
What do you think about it, Jay? What do you think is really going on here?
I've seen the video, because there was a replayed video on the tsunami.gov website of the actual event, and it didn't look like a volcanic explosion. It looked like a nuke went off.
Really?
Yeah,
I haven't
like
seen it. No.
so when the thing went off, like it quote unquote exploded, um, you could see a blast wave going on all directions, spreading out, and then you'll see like the top of like the smoke and whatnot. It looked like a mushroom cloud, but that's just me. That's how I saw it. So, and and the thing about the reporting was there was no leading um smaller quakes up to the Big Bang. Like there was no tremors, no nothing. It was just boom. So
Yeah, that does not happen.
yeah, naturally occurring volcanic activity that explodes like that, there's gonna be something small will precede it, or like tremors leading up to it. But that's my 2 cents. Thank you for coming, everyone.
Hey, it's Astro. If you like this, make sure to like and subscribe for more breakdowns brought to you by the Collective Minds podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, and anywhere else you like to stream from. Check us out.